The Minnesota Vikings had arguably the worst defensive line in the National Football League in 2020 due to injury and the Rona. And you could easily make the argument that the D-line is the most improved unit in 2021, even over the offensive line, with the signing of Diesel Dalvin Tomlinson, the return of Daniil the Real Deal Hunter and Michael Pierce, and the trio of rookies on the defensive line. Defensive tackle Jaylen Baby John Randall Twyman from Pitt, defensive end Janarius, here's to you, Mr. Robinson from Florida State, and defensive end, me and Patrick Jones, the second from Pitt. Vikings defensive line coach, co-regional defense coordinator, and assistant head coach Andre Patterson joined PA on 9 to noon to talk about the rookies. On third-round pick Patrick Jones II. Patrick Jones second. He's good in the run game. He's physical. He does a great job getting off blocks and uses his length well in the run game. So that's really good for him coming in the door. You don't have to spend a lot of time as far as improving him in the run game. With any rookie coming in, you got to get them to rush like a professional because they're going up against the best of the best every week against offensive tackles. You've got to do that with all of them. But the one thing you can't give them as a coach is the natural feel of how to win and how to rush the passer. He comes in the door with that in his toolbox, and I look forward to working with him, end quote. Dre also mentioned that Jones has ideal length that he looks for and also a knack for forcing fumbles because of his long arms. Also pointed out intelligence and hunger. Plus, Andre talked about is something that we talk about a lot, is that more than sacks, because there is a degree of puck luck with sacks. How many pressures do you get? And he specifically said, how do you affect the quarterback? I love that phrase. How do you make the quarterback feel you? Like, how do you make the quarterback make your presence known? How often do you move him out of the spot? So I always look more for pressure rate, win rate, as opposed to just straight up sacks. And Jones could be a low-key, under-the-radar dude who could potentially lead the rookie edge rushers in pressures and potentially sacks. On Jaylen Twyman, quote, all he could go off was the tape that you saw when he did play, and he was another one that was productive as a pass rusher. To get 10.5 sacks as an inside guy is really difficult to do. He has a good feel for how to rush the passer. He's got good quickness and suddenness. The thing that hurt him is that he got some bad advice that he needed to get bigger and show the NFL that he wasn't an undersized guy. And when you all of a sudden go from 284 to 318, who among us during the pandemic has not? But no, you take your quickness away from you. So that's why he didn't have a great pro day. So we've got to get him back to that 280 area so he has his quickness and suddenness and use of all the skills that he has, end quote. And Andre is absolutely right. Twyman did put on some bad weight. Putting on good lean muscle take some time. And Andre talked about that's how veterans do over time, where guys don't come into the league as defensive tackles at 320. No, they come in at 375, 280, and then eventually they work that way up with an NFL strength program, with an NFL level nutritional program, etc. Try to do it all at once, you just get fat. Been there. I think we all have. So I'm fired up about Jaylen Twyman. I think he really could be a factor as a rookie. Then on fourth round pick, Janarius Robinson. He's fast, he's long, he's powerful, he's athletic. He's got all the traits and tools that you look for in a defensive end. At Florida State, I think he went through 3 head coaches, he went through 4 coordinators, and he went through 3 defensive line coaches. They kept changing him from an outside linebacker to a defensive end. So it's hard for you to grow with all that constant change. He's got all the athletic traits that you look for, end quote. And he's absolutely right about the coaching changes, where you had Jimbo Fisher, you had Willie Taggart, and the Mike Norville coming in, just changing out coordinators and defensive line coaches and schemes all over the place. And it is hard to just really get into a rhythm and really build on the potential that you had coming in. And Andre mentioned that he was a kid that he really wanted in the draft. Arms built like Daniil, learning how to become a professional rusher. He's just a raw ball of athletic play. And I'm really fired up to see what Janarius Robinson is going to be in, say, 2 to 3 years. Am I right to say that he's going to be the next Daniil Hunter? No, but you certainly could make the argument that he's from a similar mold. And then also Andre talked about how much he loves Pierce and Tomlinson together. Great versus the run and sneaky good rushing the passer. Also, he tucked up Jordan Scott, the UDFA nose tackle from Oregon, who is going to be at rookie camp this weekend. Maybe he'll make an impact. Maybe he'll make the practice squad. Maybe it could be something more down the line. And he really stressed, as far as defensive linemen, 3 techs and nose tackles, about quickness on the interior over just size. So, I don't know, why no love for James Lynch and Hercules? But nah. And I love Andre Patterson, man. I think that he could and should be a head coach in the not-so-distant future. Plus, you look around the league, guys like Bruce Arians hoisted the Jerome Bardi last year, Vic Fangio, David Culley, who got hired by the Texans. I believe he's 65 years old. And even Mike Zimmer, where I think that the stigma of hiring older first-time head coaches has been dissipated, because for a while, everyone always wanted the Sean McVay, the young hotshot dude, but youth is not a guarantee of innovation. Leadership matters most, and experience develops leadership. I think Andre Patterson is a true blue leader of men. He's a true humble teacher, and I think that will be appealing for teams that will have head coach openings in 2022. And I think that the assistant head coach promotion is a way to put the league on notice that, hey, Andre's here to play, man. He is ready to be a true leader of your organization. But for now, at least the Vikings have the best defensive line coach in the NFL, overseeing what could be the best defensive line in the National Football League. Woo! No cap. Absolutely zero cap involved there. I love it, man. But your thoughts? Andre Patterson hyping up the rookies? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.